Hello again, I am Blunty, and for those of you who've been following along with my gaming PC build, codenamed Devil's Crevice, you'll know that we got the system up and running in its most basic configuration, and all is lovely. I've even streamed Minecraft with it a couple of times since then. It works wonderfully, even without a graphics card so far. But of course, this isn't even its final form, and today the next batch of parts along my upgrade path has arrived. First up is some nice sleeved cables for pure aesthetics, really, to get the main power cabling for the motherboard, the processor, and sometime real soon the graphics card all looking nice and classy and consistent, and of course tying the cabling in with the matte black and primary red colour scheme. These ones here are PCCasegear.com's own in-house brand, or at least something they buy in bulk and slap their own logos on some basic packaging for. I've purchased all of the parts so far from this build from PC Case Gear. And just for the record, the experience, their prices, their site, their shipping costs, their speed, the ability to save a wish list and save out shopping carts so it can go back to them nice and easy, and general customer service has all been pretty nice. This isn't a sponsorship or an official endorsement or anything, it's just, you know, people have asked me where I'm getting the parts from, and this is where I'm getting them from, and I've had a pretty good experience. In any case, the cables are quite nice. Clean sleeving job, tidy connections, no exposed heat shrink or connector clips, and consistent cable lengths in the bundles so they all run nice and cleanly. I'm pretty happy with them, actually. Next up, I've got some multicolour LED strip lighting from Deepcool. I went this way as I'm still not sure what lighting accent colour I want to go with. The RGB strip will let me play with multiple options and see what I like best, try different colours, mixing and matching and brightnesses. And this kit comes with 2 strips of RGB lights, a control box, a simple IR remote control so you can change the colour, brightness and choose from a few blinking and strobing and fade effects. If it turns out to be rad, then fine, it'll be my permanent solution. But if not, it's a way to find out, you know, like I said, what colour I want to go with in a more permanent lighting rig. So, on to the practical stuff now. That was all aesthetic. Practical stuff. For my main system drive, I went with a HyperX Savage in 240GB. Now, I know in the build vids I mentioned I was planning on buying a SanDisk SSD, mainly because of the great value that's on offer there and my strong trust in the SanDisk brand. They have literally never ever let me down, and I've been using this stuff for years and years and years and years. But the HyperX was priced very closely to the equivalent SanDisk, and in reviews and benchmarks I've been researching, it is one of the best performing SSDs in its class, sometimes by a wide margin. So I pulled the trigger on the HyperX. The HyperX Savage also comes nicely accessorized too. It's got a padding adapter thingy to stick on there for laptops that mount the slightly thicker standard of 2.5-inch drives, and it also comes with a very nicely built 3.5-inch drive bay adapter, complete with a nice attention to detail thing in the etched branding up there, in case you've got an older case without 2.5-inch drive mount options, or you've simply run out of them. It looks fantastic, nice attention to detail, I love the styling, it matches the RAM I've already got in the system and of course the colour scheme in general, although you won't really see it, but we'll get to that. Now, of course, still to come is the aftermarket CPU cooler. Yes, I'm not going to stick with the stock cooler. I've mentioned this several times in the videos, but people keep asking me, well, why have you got the stock one there? Well, to get the system up and running until I make a decision. Anyway, so I've got to get the aftermarket one so I can get some overclocking happening, and of course the dedicated graphics card so I can actually at last properly call this beastie a gaming rig. And I have, as a matter of fact, literally just placed the order for those components. I'll tell you which ones in a later update video, of course, because oh my god, suspense! Place your guesses now for what I got for the GPU and CPU cooler in the comments. We'll see how many of you actually get it right. But anyway, let's get this stuff in the computer. Alright, so the plan is we're going to replace this cable up here with the extension. That one right there, I think. That's the one. That's the one. That's the one. You can't really see that, but you know, that yellow cabling shining through the mesh, it's just a bit ugly for me. And yes, there is a grommet just behind the motherboard here, but I can't really get to it with this fan in place, and I want that fan there because it's a good place to exhaust heat out the top of the case. So if I remove that fan and, you know, relied on a couple of fans at the back there, it's smaller fans, noisier fans, so, you know, I'm going to leave that one there and just run the CPU power through there. But for those who are curious, yes, there is a grommet on the other side here, just behind the fan. So if you didn't have that fan there, you could run this cable sort of directly out there, and it'll be a lot tidier. We're definitely going to, of course, replace that. That was the whole reason I got these in the first place. That was the main reason. So put this extension on the main power there to make that look much more attractive. I haven't found any red SATA data cables yet. Actually, I did find some online, but they seem like kind of crappy quality, so I'm looking for some fairly decent ones. But I do want those red, just as sort of another sort of splash of red to go through there. I don't really need to worry about the SATA power cable for the hard drives, because that's all in the back cabinet. You know, that's all happening back there, and you know, I could plug this in and use it, but you'd never see it, so what would be the point? It's just more cable clutter. And the graphics card ones, of course, we don't have my the space reserved. I don't have my dedicated graphics card yet. Hopefully, what date is it? Well, a couple of weeks away at max, hopefully, maybe, if I can get the budget together and get it ordered and stuff. And still haven't quite made the final decision, but yeah, we're going to need at least one of those. Well, I will only need one, because I'm not going to go for dual graphics cards straight off the bat, but I do have 2 graphics cards power sets there in case I want to go dual in the future. In the future. I can't talk. That's what I'm talking about. The Hyper Savage drive is just really, really pretty, and actually it works really well in the color scheme here too. The reflective red is of course the exact same red as on the Hyper X memory. No surprise there. And I'm looking for places to mount this, and I thought, you know, I could probably get some of these sort of fan mount holes here to line up good enough with at least 1 or 2 of those. I don't need to be super secure, because I'm not traveling with this case, so as long as it sort of stays in place when I move it from the shelf to the desk or something, it'll be fine. But if I mount it there, you're probably not going to wind up seeing it once the graphics card's in there, because the graphics card's going to sit all the way across there, so you might not even see it that much. And you kind of have to run it backwards, because the cables are on this side. So if I run it, you know, that way around, so you could read the label, the cables would come out that way and wrap around, and I don't know about that. So I thought maybe I could find a way to mount it up here. There's no screw holes up there, but you know, I could get some, you know, double-sided tape or something and sort of mount it up there. It just about fits really nicely, actually, and would look kind of really cool. And the cable management wouldn't be too big of an issue, because we can go, you know, straight through this grommet here. But then I thought, well, I've got the 2 fans here at the moment, which aren't a problem, but it's still up in the air whether or not I'm going to go for a water cooling solution for my CPU, because I'm still using the stock cooler there. And these fans I'm going to replace these fans, because I have to run them at quite a low speed to get the noise at a reasonable level to where I want them. They're good fans, but just noisier than I want them to be. And of course they do have some more silent fans, but if I go for a radiator there, that's going to come out, you know, the radiator plus the fans are going to come out that much, and it's probably going to interfere if I try and mount that there anyway. So I don't know what to do about that. For now, I'm just going to put it in the drive cage where it belongs, sort of out of sight, you know, on the other side of that's where it is. But I'm going to keep thinking. I'm going to ask you guys as well if you've got any sort of interesting ideas, you know, where I could mount this, or if you know of any, you know, oh, maybe there actually. I'm not going to. Well, actually, I do kind of need those vents there to just for a bit of free flow airflow. I mean, I've got the fan up the top there, but I don't know. Maybe there. I don't know. But I kind of want to put it on display because it just looks fantastic. I mean, it is just a drive, but it looks fantastic, and yeah, it matches the rest of the build really, really well. And I kind of, yeah, I want it on display. Western Digital drive, hideous, ugly thing, brutal, but very, very, you know, practical. And that's going to go in the rear drive cage back there. I can't even see what I'm shooting, but yeah, 3.5-inch drive cage at the back there, so that's not an issue. And finally, for the lights, I'm probably going to put one strip down the bottom there, one strip up the side here, so we can get light shining in the case. Or maybe over here actually, because if it's going to sit on the shelf, and we're going to generally look at it from this way, from a camera angle point of view, when it's in the scene with me. So maybe a strip down the side there, strip down the side there. You won't really see the lights directly, but you'll see them illuminating all the components. I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to put all that together, and in the next cut, we're going to see how all these new cables look and get the lights going. Alright then, so we got 3 drives in. That's the SSD I got in for review. That's the Kingston SSD, and there's my little 500 gig slow-mo 2.5-inch hard drive, which was my emergency hard drive thingy. And of course, back here, well, I can't see it. It's in the cage. It's in the cage. It's in the cage. It's in there. Lights. My light went out. My light went out. Emergency lighting. I drained the light. There we go. Smooth. Big hard drive in there. This is what I love about this case, by the way. Look at all this. Look at this cable mess. Look at all this. Look at this. If I was building in a normal case without the dual chamber cable management design thingy that this Corsair case has, this would be a mess. You'd see all this. It'd be on display in the case. It'd be hideous. But as it is, let's swing him around. I'll try and do this one-handed. And there. Oh, look how clean that looks from the side with the window. Look how clean it looks. So we replaced the CPU power cables, as we said. They're up there. They look nice and tidy there. A little more flexible, so I can get them around that heatsink without sort of interfering with the fan blades. Let's see, actually, let's just set it up. See? Oh, no, I moved them. I have to rejigger that before I close the case up so I don't hit the fan blades. But yeah, I must have jiggled them as I was doing the other cabling. Oh, look at that. That looks much sexier. So much clean, red, beautiful, and I need to tidy that up a little bit before I put the case back on, just to make it look a little bit super duper tidy. We've got the dangly wires down there. Those are for the lights. I haven't put those in yet, but yeah, I just wanted to stop and remark about how clean this case lets me make everything look. I love it. I love it. This is why I'm putting lights in it, so you can see how lovely and clean it looks in there. Okay then, so this thing is a piece of shit. That's the last time I'll be buying a deep cool product, I can tell you that. Because I did a little video demonstration, I just showed you it. These things were working fine, they were doing all the splashy colours and things and bits, and so I installed it in the case properly. You know, I routed the wires properly, I put these things where I wanted them to stay, even sort of peeled off some of the backing there so I can get it to tack where I wanted it to tack to before I sort of committed and peeled off the entire thing, you know, to make sure it looks good. But then it stopped working. Just altogether stopped working, just absolutely stopped. So I checked all the connections and you know, checked all that sort of stuff, and I made sure the power hadn't come loose or anything like that, and I made sure I hadn't, you know, done any damage. And no, wait a second. This little box here, the control box, smells exactly like mysterious blue smoke. And if you don't know what mysterious blue smoke smells like, then you've never had a piece of electronics burn out on you. Because the manufacturers put a very special mysterious blue smoke in the components that they make these things with. So when something burns out, you can see the mysterious blue smoke or possibly smell the mysterious blue smoke. And I can definitely, absolutely smell the very familiar scent of mysterious blue smoke. So this thing burnt out within like literally 10 minutes of me installing the damn thing. So yeah, no more deep cool products, I don't think. They're not very high quality, I don't think. This is a pile of shit. I didn't even get a chance to get the window on my case before the damn thing burnt out. So yeah, flip the bird to old deep cool, and you guys are on my shit list. Crappy product. Like, yoink. Yoink. Ba-doink. Well, there you go. Stage 1 of the Devil's Crevice upgrade path is complete. Still to come, the aftermarket CPU cooler and of course the graphics card. Did I go for air cooling or an all-in-one water cooling solution? Did I go for AMD or Nvidia? Team Red or Team Green? Place your bets now in the comments section. Oh, and I guess I have to look for a new lighting option also, because apparently Deep Cool sucks so much. Blurg. Any suggestions for good lighting rigs that don't burn out within 5 minutes? That'd be real handy. Pop a comment about that too. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty, and I will catch you next time.